What is going on, guys? Today we are back with another video. We are up here in northern Wisconsin today. I keep trying to leave and go places, and then things keep coming up last second. And what was it this time? Oh, Shelby shot a deer last night, so little congratulations to Shelby. I had to go help her track it and do all that fun stuff late last night, and then I had to go bring it in this morning. And you guys know the drill, but yeah, I had to stick around here for the day, and then I probably got to go stay in a fence later. But tomorrow, I promise you guys, we are getting out of northern Wisconsin and we're going to Minnesota. But anyways, unbelievable, the sight at the boat landing this morning. Get out here, and there's more people than I've ever seen in my whole life on this lake. Insane, absolutely insane. And we're getting a phone call probably from another guy saying he's coming out to this lake too. But basically what we hope to do today is get away from all these people. And I'm kind of a victim in my own success in some ways. A lot of these smaller northern Wisconsin lakes I fish have just been getting throttled because eventually people obviously kind of figure out where you're fishing and stuff like that. But this deep rock bite pattern, this jig bite pattern, is what I was hoping to do today. Come out here, set up on some deep rock fish. There's literally boats on every spot in the entire lake. I mean, it's absolutely insane. Catch and release has never been more important than it is right now. So you gotta let some of these, pretty much you gotta let all the fish go is what should be happening. But what we're gonna do today is the other pattern, the flip side of the pattern. These guys drive over, you drive over a lot of these rock areas right now, boom, fish everywhere. It's gonna look absolutely phenomenal on the graph. And these fish are going to be super potted up on a lot of these sweet spots. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to do the opposite of that pattern. We're going to go out to these deep transitions where these fish are holding on, and we're going to troll just spots on the map that look like absolutely nothing. We're going to be in 50 to maybe as shallow as 32 feet of water, and what we're going to be trolling is, we'll talk about, but hard to soft bottom transitions, these big transition areas that are super productive in this early fall time frame. And we're going to lead core, and we're going to pull crankbaits. They don't always bite crankbaits very well doing this, but we don't really have a choice because these are not areas where you're going to see like a castable amount of fish. These are areas where you're going to have to cover a lot of water to contact fish. And that's kind of the goal. And we're going to be running lead core, like I said, so we can stick my favorite lead coring baits, one of my favorite lead core baits of all time, the Rapala Scatter Wrap, balsa minnow, down into these depth zones. So we'll go all into what we're doing and stuff like that, but this is kind of my only option today because I'm not going to play bumper boats on these rock spots and jig fish. So and we might even get some better fish than those guys are getting too, because sometimes the bigger fish will hold out in the basin. So stay tuned. We're going to get to trolling. We got to get the trolling motor down. It's just a gorgeous kind of fishy looking, sunny, then it's cloudy, then it's sunny, then it's cloudy. It's kind of warm out today type of day. So stay tuned. Hopefully we're going to troll some lead core for some of these early fall walleyes and walk you guys through the process. If you guys get to your favorite lake and you just see boats on every single spot and you're like, well, I better go home because there's just no room. Well, you can also troll, and that's what we hope to show today. So stay tuned. Let's start trolling, catch some walleyes. Look at that right there. Fish on right away, right away, right away. We're gonna talk nice and quiet today because there is so many boats out here. It is absolutely insane. You guys probably can't see many of them, and I doubt any of them even have lead core width. But today's goal is get away from the people. We're going to do that to the best of our abilities by trolling up above some of these deep transitions where all these other guys are fishing, where fish are really concentrated. We're going to fish where fish are not concentrated, and you got to troll them. But it is a super productive style of fishing. I don't like the way today looks as far as getting fish to bite crankbaits, but we got one on right now. I'm not complaining with that. Got to start somewhere. Looks like a nice walleye too. Definitely got the right fish on here, on the tried and true Rapala Scatter Wrap. One of my absolute favorite kind of high pressure lake situation crankbaits. There we go. There's number one of the day right there. He smoked old blue. I'm in 49 feet of water right now, but I'm only trolling down about 25, 26 feet right now. There we go. Nice walleye to get things going. Nice little chunky 18-incher. right there. Fish on. Just let that bait out. Just let the first one go. I want to make sure I got all my lines running at the same time. This feels like a nice fish for sure here. Wow, this is actually way better action than I thought it was going to be. Just kind of right off the bat too. The lead core is paying off already. You know, a lot of times there's multiple different bites going on the same body of water. And we're not so much fishing a different bite, but we're fishing a different pattern. You know, in this early fall time frame, what do we got today? 63-degree water. And these fish get on a lot of these transitions. And some of these transitions are much tighter and much more obvious on a lake map. What I mean by that is a big point that comes out and hits it. And that might be where all the boats are fishing today. Everybody's just going to be piled up on those spots. I filmed a video, and I'm a victim of my own success. I filmed a video this week on a spot. There's literally 22 boats on this spot. That is a pretty small spot right now, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it. But those are the kind of obvious spots, you know, where people can pick them out on a map. The fish are really concentrated. Where I'm fishing out here is seemingly the vast amount of nothingness. Oh yeah, nice walleye here on the scatter wrap. Nice walleye. Don't get in that line, buddy. Don't get in that line. We're going to net this guy. This is a nice fish. We're going to net this guy. And man, so productive, you know. There's obviously plenty of fish out here. There's just not going to be that one screenshot where you're going to say, wow, that's a lot of fish on the graph. There we go. Oh my gosh, do I love trolling these deep transitions. And we pretty much got it all to ourselves. There's one guy kind of out here in the area. There we go. Look at that. Another gorgeous early fall walleye and an absolutely gorgeous day. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Let's let that guy go. Get that scatter wrap back out. Do it again. Oh man, right there. I was just actually reeling some stuff in. I just went through a massive pot of fish and I want to cast them. Now that everybody's trying to troll out here, we're gonna lock down on a big pot and cast. You know, a lot of times trolling is the best way to cover water, catch fish, and kind of find where the massive amount of fish is located. And I know we can probably do this trolling thing all day long, but the goal here is to just kind of catch fish however we can. If I see a good pod where nobody's on it and I can cast them, do not tempt me with a good time like that. I was just picking up the last rod to kind of whip around on these fish real quick here. And we got our fourth walleye on the lead core in about half an hour here. Oh, it's a nice one too, a real nice fish. He doesn't seem like he's fighting that hard because I slowed the boat way down and just turned the trolling motor right off. Oh yeah. Another victim of the scatter wrap right there. I think everybody else out here is pulling spinners and just going really slow. And I don't know what they're doing, if they're catching anything, but look at that. Another beautiful early fall walleye, pulling lead core, crankbait fishing, Rapala scatter wrap, super simple pattern. But we gotta let this guy go. Circle back on this big time pot of fish here. So, you know, one question we always get when we're trolling lead core is how do you connect the leader? What's the leader look like? All that sort of stuff. Obviously, lead core, very visible line. You know, it's just bulky, it's big, it's not finessey at all. So if I'm in really clear water, I like to get that bait as far away from the lead core as possible. And basically what I do, a lot of guys will do this a bunch of different ways. In my opinion, where'd my pliers go? I know I just brought my pliers up here, now they're gone. They're out of sight, there they are. You know, you could do this with a swivel, and but if you're going to end up tying like a 30 feet lead, what's going to happen is your swivel is going to have to go down into the reel. So you can use like a small ant crane swivel. The way I like to do it, I just tie it and don't really have a problem. But the way you tie lead core obviously is a little bit different. So, you know, here's the end I'm going to tie my leader onto. Now what I want to do is push the lead outside of this sheath like this. See how that looks right there? Now I'm going to strip this back about that far. I'm going to take that, I'm going to cut the lead off. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to push all this slack I got built up, back out over the top of that lead. So now what you can see is there's no lead in this section of line. There's just lead starting about right. You can see right there. You can even poke it through and kind of see it sometimes. Now, this is just basically a braided line now. So most of the time I run like a 12-pound fluorocarbon on Suffolk when I'm running these leaders like this. Now all I do is I can just tie a double uni knot right to that sheath. You can tie an FJ, a double uni, kind of whatever you want. So obviously double uni knot, you guys are not going to be able to memorize this just by this little demonstration I'm going to do. So go ahead and Google that if you're not familiar with it. Always get it wet and tie the other side with just your braided line sheath that goes over the lead with no lead in it. And we're going to wrap that up, double uni knot. And just like this right here, we'll snug that tight, get it wet whenever you're cinching a uni knot like this together. Boom, there we go. There's our connection. And obviously go ahead and trim those tags off right there. You don't want to leave too much of a tag, because what's going to end up happening is it's going to go through the eyes real clunky. All right, so now we got our connection of basically a seamless connection of that lead core to the 12-pound fluorocarbon. Now I'm going to reset my line counter, and all I'm going to do is reel in about 30 feet of this. Most of the time that's what I do. So it's going to, right when the line counter hits 970 feet, because I'll be counting backwards here, we'll cut that off. And now what I have on here is obviously 30 feet of 12-pound fluorocarbon that seams perfectly into that lead core. And this is the way I like to do it. Like I said, a lot of guys might want to run swivels or something like that, but I've always had really good luck doing it this way and plenty strong. So just kind of hollow out that lead core and double uni knot, FJ knot, some kind of jam knot like that, and put your fluorocarbon on, good to go. Do you need 30 feet a leader on these things? You probably don't, definitely would not in all situations. But I always like erring on the safe side and getting that lead core a long ways away from my offering. Now, these baits don't dive very deep. So, like let's say you put on like a really big tail dancer or a really big deep diving crankbait and you want to get it way down there. Well, that's going to pull this, if you let 130 feet of lead core out and then 30 feet of that, just your leader on there, obviously, that bait's going to dive a little bit deeper. So kind of take that into compensation. This bait only gets down about 5 feet. So it's not going to dive a whole lot more than whatever 130 feet of lead core is. All right, I don't know what this is, but it's big. It's big and it's hooked. Feels weird. Just went ballistic right off the bat. Possible walleye that's got it real weird, but a big walleye. This is super weird and just totally slacked up for a second there. Bass. Out over open water. Definitely very heavy. It's 50 feet back. My line's kind of doing the old classic curly cue here. Maybe he just swatted at it and got it like in the cheek, Got to get him up to the surface. It is a nice walleye hook sideways though. At least I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yeah, wow, it is a nice walleye. He's got it like right on the top of his head though. He must have swatted it and rolled up in the line, because that hit was just absolutely ferocious when he bit. Come on, buddy. We got to get you up high to the surface here. All right, keep him coming. It is a really nice walleye though. All right. Definitely one of the better ones of the day here, I would say. Just gonna keep him coming. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. This is the one we need. This is what we want. And grab my net quick. We're not gonna mess around with this guy. He fought like a 10-pounder because he's hooked just on the top of the head. Really nice fish though. Look how this guy's coming in. don't know if you guys can see that on the GoPro or not. And we got him. There we go. That is a nice fish right there. We'll give you guys a look. That is absolutely awesome. Oh man, look at that guy. I mean, that is just exactly what we're after. Big, tall, perky fall walleyes out here, pulling lead cord, getting away from all the pressure, getting away from all the boats, and just catching a pile of fish. Man, super fun pattern, unbelievably effective. Early fall, really anytime late summer to this fall, early fall time. Deep transitions, pulling lead core, killer, absolutely killer way to fish. So, you know, these deep transitions, we've talked about them a lot, and they're just a super productive place to fish. Really, anytime, you know, late summer into that kind of pre-turnover time frame like we're in now. You know, these lakes are 3-4 weeks away from really turning over. And really up until then, this is a great area for these fish to be. And generally what we're looking at is really big pieces of structure, maybe in the middle of the lake, maybe that comes off shoreline, whatever it is. But it comes way out, and then it gets to wherever it turns into soft bottom. So we'll throw up a screenshot right here. This is what a hard to soft bottom transition looks like. Now what I'm doing is I'm staying in this soft bottom, but I just keep bumping in to a lot of this hard bottom stuff. And these fish are mostly in the soft bottom, but they're relating snugly up to this hard to soft line. And this transition in particular that we're on happens out in 43 feet of water for the most part. But these fish are not down in the bottom in 43 feet. They're only down about 27, 28 feet of water. So I'm just sticking my baits down 25, 27 feet. I'm kind of snaking this thing along. And this is a pretty long one because it kind of comes off a whole side of the lake and out into the basin. Now out here it's going to slowly just taper all the way out even deeper than that. But right on this transition here, I'm kind of running a lot of 38 to 43 feet of water, and these fish are up high, up above that stuff. So it's all it really is just, you know, getting good at dialing in how deep your baits are with that lead core. You know, the easiest way to do that is you can look up all sorts of dive curves for stuff. I run all Suffix 832, and I've just been doing it long enough where I kind of got it in my head. But the easiest way would be just let line out till you hit bottom. See where you're hitting bottom. Then obviously kind of keep scaling it back and scaling it back until you think you're right in that zone. And then, you know, generally, obviously, if you can run multiple rods, you know, a lot of times a certain line length will start hitting. You know, today for us, that's 130 feet a line out. So, you know, a lot of times if you have multiple rods to play with, you'll kind of key in on that depth, right where the fish at, how much line you need out. You can do it off colors. I most time just do it off feet because it's a little bit more accurate. And that's basically as simple as this pattern is. All right, well, that is gonna wrap it up for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this one. Kind of got thrown a curveball right off the bat. Was hoping to jig fish today, but we ended up trolling and doing just as good, if not better, than we would have done jig fishing. So, you know, if you ever get to your favorite lake this fall and there's just endless amount of boats out, do not forget about this kind of deep transition trolling pattern, especially with lead core and crankbaits. Super productive way to fish. And today was just kind of the perfect example of that. A lot of the video I was talking pretty quiet because there got to be so many people that would just flock in and jig fish around me. The camera never does like a great job of picking up how many people are actually around, but there's a lot of people, a lot of people out here today. And but yeah, I appreciate you guys watching this video. We'll kind of show more of these two-stage bites. You know, fall's kind of the time of year where fish can be here and they can also be here, and a lot of times those locations might be drastically different. So we'll definitely show a lot more of that as the fall kind of continues. But I got to go home, stay in a fence, and take care of some other stuff. Pack some clothes into a dirty suitcase, throw them in the truck, all chaotically and unorganized, and get out of here tomorrow morning and go do some exciting Minnesota stuff, hopefully. So stay tuned. Appreciate you guys watching. If you're not yet, please subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.